You still holding on to a 60/40 portfolio? Bro, you're playing a game that ended 20 years ago. I'll tell you why. The whole idea behind the 60/40 was simple: 60% stocks for growth, 40% bonds for safety. In the old world, when stocks would drop, bonds generally would go up. It'd give you balance. That worked when interest rates were high and policymakers had room to cut whenever they needed if the markets wobbled. But that world is kind of gone. Today, interest rates sit near historic lows relative to monetary inflation. The bonds aren't protecting you anymore. In fact, they are often, if you've noticed, dropping alongside equities. We saw that in 2022. Both stocks and bonds suffered their worst year in decades. Together, not separated. The uncorrelated safety net doesn't really exist anymore. Well, why is that? Because the entire system is more leveraged and more financialized. Central banks can't raise rates high enough to fight that inflation without breaking the over-levered debt machine. So they oscillate between flooding the market with liquidity and pulling it back just kind of enough to avoid a complete collapse. In that kind of world, your safe 40% allocation bleeds value like not so silently anymore. Your growth 60% is concentrated into tech mega caps, which are more correlated to macro liquidity than ever before. Oh, and by the way, everyone else is in that trade too. So who's going to head to the exits first? Anyway, that's the flaw in the modern 60/40. It's not diversification, it's two sides of the same coin. So what do you do these days? Are you just You need assets that are truly different. Bitcoin, volatile, yes, but also the best performing asset of the last 10 years. Fixed supply, digital property, and increasingly being treated as pristine collateral. It tends to thrive when liquidity is loose and while currencies debase. It's also proven to be a hideout for certain crises, i.e. post-COVID or during the aftermath of Silicon Valley Bank. Multifamily real estate, which is a steady, cash-flowing, tax-advantaged, and more demand-driven, it thrives in inflationary environments, pays you every month, and historically has held value throughout cycles. Even if rates are higher, well-vetted, stronger properties can carry you through those downturns. One side gives you conviction and upside, and the other gives you defensiveness and income. That's my personal modern barbell portfolio. 60/40 is dead. The game has changed. Question is, has your portfolio?